we ended with the initial discussion on the system of class excellence recognition. I emphasize that this is not a competition among classes. It's they're not competing against each other, because any class that is able to reach the quota, and it's the team, the committee, the officers of the school that will determine what would be a good quota for a class to reach, for it to be given the class excellence recognition at the end of every quarter, or if you want to make it um, every grading period. Okay. And then, of course, ultimately, by the end of the year, um, the classes that are able to garner certain number of points, as you will determine it, will be given the class excellence recognition. Uh, and then, of course, as you can imagine, if let's say it's a trophy or a certificate or a laminated thing or a plaque, it's the class advisor who's going to keep it. And because it's a class advisor's push motivation that will get the class to work on being able to get as many of those points. Okay, so I said I did it in all the schools I taught in: Westbridge, Southridge, Northfield, Bannister Academy, and I'm going to show you samples of how it looked like in implementation. Now, you see, Bannister Academy is a young school in Libis, Quezon City. I helped put it up. I was there for its first 8 years of existence, teaching Latin. It's the only school that offers Latin from grade 1 all the way to grade 10. Sorry. Okay. And the seal, if you look at the seal of Bannister, it's a, shield, and then it has two lions on the left and on the right. No, so instead of just calling it simply uh, Class Excellence Award generically, we decided to call it the Bannister Academy's Lion Award for Class Excellence. And then in Southridge, for some time, we set as our battle cry, "Soar Great Heights." That was like the motto for a number of years: "Soar Great Heights." Okay, so instead of just calling it Class Excellence Award, we called it the Eagle Award for Class Excellence. Yeah, to give it a little identity. It's not just generically class excellence recognition. It's the Eagle Award for class excellence. It's a Lion Award for class excellence. In Northfield, our logo is an anchor. Okay, so we used as our name the Lighthouse Award for class excellence. And then the scoring, instead of simply calling it points, no, it's so generic. 50 points for grade 5B, 60 points for grade 7A. In Bannister, we called it, sorry, in Southridge, we called it Wings, which is more consistent with the Eagle Award for Class Excellence. So 50 wings for grade 7A for their initiative on doing an outreach, 100 wings for the grade 6B for getting 100% attendance of parents and like that. And in Bannister, as I showed you the seal, the shield with two lions. So we called it shields, 100 shields, 50 shields, like that. No? So I'll share with you, for example, a list of ways by which in Bannister we ask the students to work on getting this so that they can win shields or points or merits. So it's there, zero absence, 1 month, zero tardiness in a month, the clean classroom recognition, and then for every student that is able to join a varsity team and is in good standing, every student who is able to be part of a club, an organization, that's 10 shields added to the class merits. For every student that competes in an international competition, 50 points or 50 shields. For every student that competes in a national competition, 30. District, 10 shields. And then 100% attendance in PTA or parenting course or parenting talk that we organize for the teacher, for the parents. 100%, 100% is equivalent to 50 shields, 80%, 40 shields, etc. Same thing with attendance to Foundation Day celebration, Christmas program, family fun run. Yan. So whatever activities that you want students to support, participate in, cooperate, you can attach certain points as merit, like merit system. Same thing with fundraising that you have in school, newspaper drive, pet bottles drive. I mentioned earlier the um, yung decorating the bulletin board. Yeah. But of course, the biggest points should be reserved for honors because that's what you expect the students to do, to study and study hard and study well. So 100 points if a class has 100%, making it to the honor rolls. 90 points if 90%, etc. I'll show you, for example, what my class, um, even if I was serving as principal of intermediate school in Southridge and vice principal of high school, I was insisting on being a class advisor. I always insisted on being class advisor because I've seen clearly early on the impact that the class advisor can have on the student formation. And in my last year in Southridge, 2009, because after that I was asked to move to the University of Asia in the Pacific, this is a summary of what my class garnered in points. Submission of commentaries, virtue of the month, complete, that's plus points. VOM mottos, reply slip, gala attire. And then my class organized having a welcome newsletter for the parents. We were given 30 points, 30 wings for that. We have a class website, 30 points for that. Class pilgrimage to Tagaytay, Enchanted Kingdom trip, magic show with an older student coming to our class to perform magic while the rest of the class would have lunch together to form bonding and friendship and camaraderie. 50 points for that. Spending an afternoon in fully booked, attending an activity in SMX, doing a class pilgrimage in Baclaran, an outing, corporal works of mercy, three of them, celebrating birthday of school officers inside our classroom. We got two like that and 30 points for each initiative. Champions in baseball, full payment collection, Father's Day complete collection, and full payment of 30th year shirts. So these are this it works. It gets the students. Um, it makes it easier for the class advisor to get the students to do what you want them to do because that was the principle we saw yesterday in classroom management. You get a better chance of making the students do what you want them to do if they're working to get a reward as a class. Okay, so this is not against the second level of moral development of simply wanting a reward, because this one is a reward for their class, not for their personal selves, but for the whole class. They're thinking as a team. And then you change the name of class excellence into Lion Award, into Eagle Award. Well, we might as well, to have an identity, have a class name. So a class shouldn't just be known as 5A. Ah, we were told give a make the students choose a class name on day one. The students have to vote on it. You can get two or three nominations, and then they vote on, and whatever wins will be your class name. But to make it even more uniform, have it a virtue and an animal. Okay, very nice. Yung SOAR Great Heights, a virtue and a bird, a kind of bird. Okay, you can do that. So you can be known not as simply 5B, but as 5B brave leopards. Okay, we are the 6C, courageous cows, whatever it is, but a class name. And then on day one, you might as well get the class to choose a class motto. What will our motto be as a class that will drive us, that will energize us, that will push us to achieve, to accomplish, uh, to be a class excellence awardee? And then there are some students in our class who are good in drawing. Let them design a logo, maybe three or four, two or three, and then vote on one. Let the students vote on what they want, what they like best, and that becomes the class logo. And in the younger classes, grade one, two, three, four, why not? Even a class cheer that the class would maybe after the morning prayer, the greetings, and then they do the class cheer. So all these are supposed to bring to build class mindset, class culture, class identity, that you are not just a lone person. You are part of a team, of a class, of a family that is guided by a certain set of virtues. For example, the class motto, the class core values. That's creating a class culture. Let me show you how it looked like in um, a school in Southridge. Let me see. Okay, so Southridge is an all boys school there in Alabang. That's where I also finished high school. I was one of the first students there from 1979 to 1984. And then I went back to serve as principal of intermediate school, vice principal of high school, and the religion department chair. So this is how the classrooms look like in um, a place where there is that class excellence recognition. Remember, we called it the Eagle Award for Class Excellence. And then the class advisors were told, make your class choose a name, a virtue, and an animal. So this is grade 6A. And they chose as their name, we are the resolute wolves. Yan. And we even have our core values, respect, fortitude, responsibility. Respect, fortitude, responsibility. And they have a motto, Ducin Altum. Ducin Altum. Launch into the deep. Words of Jesus that he said to Peter. Peter and the other fishermen were trying to catch fish the whole night, and the whole night they didn't catch anything. And so Jesus arrived there and um, got them to go launch out into the deep. And Peter obeyed. And of course, you know what happened next. They caught so many fish that the nets were breaking. They had to call for other boats to come and help them. Okay, so the question asked here is how many students you have in a class? 25 to 35 students. Maximum class size is 35. In the lower grades, grade 1, 2, 3, they keep it to 25 per class. I think they still retain that same ratio today. Okay, and then in another class, this is a grade 2A, and they said they are the hardworking ants. And they chose as their core values courtesy, obedience, order, and kindness. Okay, and look at this. They drew up their own touchstone as a class. We are a class who enjoys working hard to produce excellent work, learns to follow rules consistently for good character, and always obeys our teachers, etc. Maybe they even recited this with with their right arm up like that. Here's another, well, okay, inside the classroom, every classroom, you will be able to see the virtue of the month. And then every week, a student is assigned to propose a class motto. And in this specific week, ang motto nila is, I will do my task well without being told. And they write that motto on every paper, one fourth, one half, one whole sheet that they submit. Test papers, they write the motto on top of the page. And it changes every week. And it's the students who propose the motto. And if it is approved, then that becomes the motto of the week. Okay, and then in every classroom, I announced yesterday, I discussed this yesterday in the classroom management. Kahit anong classroom ang pasukin mo, the rules are the same. Parang airlines, the procedures are the same, but the rules are also the same. These are not procedures, these are now the 5 classroom rules. Enter and leave the classroom properly. Always put your things in order. Pay attention at all times. Be ready at the count of 10. Raise your hand before you speak. So these are all same rules in any classroom. Then along the corridor, you're reminded again what the virtue of the month is. I mean, the decorations, they all speak of character, values. Let's take a look at another classroom. This is the grade 2C. They said they are the friendly cobras. I don't know how cobras can be friendly, but anyway, that's the name they chose for themselves. And their motto, the class core values are courtesy, obedience, order, and kindness, similar to the other class. Okay. And then in every class, okay, this is the brave barracudas, and their core values are bravery, loyalty, zealousness. And then the motto, excellence is a habit. And in every classroom, you're going to see the class logo that has been made into a banner. Every class has a banner that they start thinking class, they have an identity, and they start developing a certain culture. And this is what I was saying yesterday in the 6th level of moral development. The teachers now can easily say, okay, class, best behavior, please, when we attend the first Friday Mass, okay? Not because I'm going to punish, not because I'm offering a reward, not because you're trying to please me, not because that's the rule, but because you carry the name of the zealous cults. People will judge zealous cults, 3C, the zealous cults, according to how you're going to behave there. Okay, so please give our class a good name. Let's go. Let's go to the first Friday Mass. So the teachers are easily able to reach that kind of 6th level of moral development in managing the class, in disciplining the students. This is grade 1A, the enduring Ascals. Yan. And they chose as their core values faith, respect, responsibility. And their motto, I will always do what is right. Very nice. I will always do what is right. Okay, now here's to make it exciting. Every start of the month, the whole school, all the students are assembled in a gymnasium or in an auditorium. And as they enter the auditorium, their banner is there on stage displayed. And some of them feel the pride of being part of their class. They cannot help but break into the class cheer as they enter the auditorium, as they go to the seats assigned to them, the class cheer. And of course, the other students will hear it, hindi magpapatalo. They will also do their class cheer. If your class has no cheer, parang kawawa ka, you are out of place. I mean, you feel like, ay, wala tayong class cheer. Let's make one so that next time around we too can feel the yung excitement of because in this assembly, um, they would invite someone who will talk about the new month's virtue. Diba? Virtue of the month ang system. So, tapos na yung, let's say, July, and then August is starting, there's a new virtue of the month. So, they assign somebody. It can be a teacher, it can be an alumnus, it can be a speaker from outside the school who will now talk to the students about the virtue of the month for August, and will give ideas on how you can live this virtue in class, in the classroom, and at home with your family. And then that is when they will announce the standing of the class excellence recognition. So they will say, at this point, Loyal Akitas, grade 3A, their standing in the Class Excellence Award is they have at the moment 782 points, and then there's cheering, there's applause. And the Friendly Cobras have 1,200. Of course, you can imagine the cheering becomes louder. And the Brave Barracudas have 400 points, and then there's a bit of jeering and people laughing because kulelat and things like that. No, okay, that's when the quote unquote competition starts feeling. Parang you start feeling the competition because next time around you want to be the highest pointer. So the students themselves will say, "Sir, let's have outreach. Sir, let's do a newsletter. Sir, let's do an overnight camp out. Let's do initiatives to catch up and to beat them all." I love a school where classes are trying to outdo each other in doing good. Sure, to be able to get the excellent class excellence award, but no problem because the only way they can get more points is by doing a lot of good over and above the usual good of collecting payments on time, submitting this and that on time, studying hard so that they can get into the honors list. But the assembly becomes electric when Captain Virtue comes out on stage. This is just one of the teachers dressed up as Captain Virtue because he is going now to give recognition to students who lived in an exceptional way the previous month's virtue. For example, the virtue of the month the previous month was hard work. How can they give recognition to students who did hard work? Students who were most improved in academics, who probably previously were failing, but because in the previous month, sorry, they worked very hard and they managed to get a big improvement in their grades. They worked hard. They deserve the recognition of hard work. And Captain Virtue is going to have pictures taken with them. He's going to give them certificate, and students cannot help but rush to hug him and to just excited to be able to have their pictures taken with him. So they go home proudly sharing this certificate um, with their mom, telling their mom, "I was given recognition for my hard work." How good is that? I mean, how cool is that? Where students are happy, excited to be, um, to have lived a virtue. It works. In the case of Southridge, they even went one more step farther. They made the students design a class shirt and then a class color. And then during the General Assembly, the monthly assembly, they wear that shirt so that they feel even more this class identity, class spirit, class culture. So it works. It works perfectly well. Now let's go to the strategy of Rafe Esquith. Remember, he's the one I said the bell would ring at 7:30, but the students are inside the classroom at 6 a.m., excited to do math and English drills. The bell rings at 3 o'clock, but the students are there up to 6, rehearsing for a Shakespeare play. And all the students in his class, by the end of grade 5, because he's been handling grade 5 for 28 years in a poor community in Los Angeles, where majority of the students failed, uh, become delinquent, or even jailed, except every single student who goes to his grade 5 class, all of whom end up in Harvard, Stanford, Yale, and other top Ivy League schools. And many of them are highly successful professionals now. How does he do it? I'm going to share now his strategies with you. The classroom of Rafe is self-contained. Ibig sabihin, he's the only teacher. He teaches all the subjects, including recess and lunch. He's there. And it's a self-contained classroom. And most of his students, I showed you, I think yesterday, are ESL students, English as Second Language students. So here is now his system and strategies. Yesterday, I shared some strategies already from his book, Methods and Madness in Room 56, Teach Like Your Hair is on Fire. He sat down one day and thought about bakit ganon. Sometimes I am able to make a deep impact. Minsan hindi masyadong good impact. And that's when he realized that he is able to make the greatest impact when he teaches students life skills. Okay? When he is able to teach the students life skills. And so he sat down one day to determine, um, okay, what can I put in place inside the classroom so that my students will learn life skills. And he came up with the economic system. And here is how the economic system works. Day one, after welcoming the students, after getting them excited about the school year, and after telling them that this is going to be an exciting year for you, we're going to work and work hard, you're going to succeed. And by the way, the seats you are occupying, you have to pay a monthly rental. Yan. The seat you're occupying now, you have to pay monthly rental. The closer to the teacher, the more expensive that chair is. And if you don't get to pay, you have to sit on the floor. Life skill, di ba? That's how it is. You have to work hard. You have to pay monthly rent. I mean, there's nothing free in this life. But don't worry. Day one, Rafe Esquith now is going to distribute job application form, real job application forms, because here are job application forms and you can apply for a job so that you can receive a salary. And then he will distribute it. Someday, these students will apply for work and will fill up this same job application form and they will think, ay, madali na to. Nagawa ko na to sa class ni Mr. Esquith in grade 5. You see, sabi ni Rafe, you teachers, we are able to make the really deep impact on the life of our students when we teach them life skills, not just skill to pass a test, a quiz, not just to pass a subject, but really skills they will need for the rest of their life. So he will distribute the job application form and then he will tell them, here are the job openings. By the way, when we say money here, dollars, we're talking of Mickey Mouse money or Monopoly money, or in his case, because he's been doing this for decades, he already has the currency in room 56. So here are the job openings you can apply for. First, the banker. You can apply for this job of the banker. Salary $600 a month, because for every 5 students One will act as a banker for the rest of the four, keeping track of their earnings, deductions, interests, bonus money, bonus income, like that, no? $600. And then he would tell them, if you intend to apply as a banker, you need to produce two recommendation letters from previous teachers who will attest to your integrity, that you will not steal, that you will be upright and honest. Day one, and the students are learning that really someday they will need to ask for reference letters, recommendation letters. They better do well now because someday they will ask other people to attest to their honesty. Here's another job opening, the highest paying job of them all, the janitor. Salary is even bigger than that of the banker, $650 a month. Day one, and the students are learning, it's not the title, it's not the prestige, the position, it's the service that you render that gives value to your work. That's why janitor is the highest paying job. That's why the room of Rafe is spick and span, very clean. He divides the room into four districts. Each district would have a janitor assigned to keep it clean, to keep it orderly. Here's another job opening, graders. Nung binanggit ko kanina na the students come at 6 a.m. to do math, English, spelling drills, some of you might be thinking, ay grabe, dagdag trabaho sa teacher. Hindi. There are graders who keep record, who correct the papers, the drills, and keep track of the grades that that's the students get, and they're being paid to do that job. The graders, the teacher just has to make sure there is always available supply of drills, math, English, spelling worksheets, drills that students can work on before the bell rings in the morning. And then a messenger. You can apply as a messenger because minsan we need to send somebody to the office to get something, to the clinic to get something, to get materials. We need a messenger. Or you can apply as police officer. Kahit walang teacher sa classroom, no problem. There are police officers in every district assigned to keep order and discipline, especially when the teacher is not around. And then you can also apply as video monitors. This is what Rafe did. He believes in the power of high impact movies. You know, those movies that are even life changing with life lessons. He keeps a library of those videos, DVDs in his classroom. And students can borrow, and then when they return it, they have to return it to the video monitor, to the video in charge, with answers to three questions, which will bring out the life lesson in the movie. And so students can borrow it or can borrow videos over the weekend, and Monday return the video with answers to the three questions. We need somebody to be on top of that, the video monitor. Or you can apply as recycler, the glamorous name for garbage man, trash can in charge. Or you can apply as, and he will warn them, this is the most boring job of them all, attendance monitor, because nobody is late, nobody is absent. But we need someone to do it anyway. You see, it's not the class advisor who should be doing that. It can be just one of the students in charge of checking attendance, submitting the reports of summary of attendance. So we need someone like that, and we'll pay him the salary. But I warn you, he would say it's the most boring job of them all because nobody is absent, nobody usually is late. And here's another job opening, clerk, assisting the teacher, because we need someone to help in making sure that the teacher's materials are always in order, That is, the teacher's corner is clean, and then um, in charge of collecting papers. The teacher doesn't have to be the one to do that. Collecting assignments, a clerk, and you can come up with any more whatever other jobs you can think of. Librarian, he would have a library of books inside the classroom because he would ask the students to do book reports, many book reports. They would write many book reports. That's why I said earlier, all of them are able to publish a book by the end of grade 5, because even just compiling all these book reports they write can be put together as a book. And we need someone to be on top of the book, so we have a librarian. Okay, now you can come up with other jobs you can think of that they can apply for. Here is the seat rental. The front of the row, the most expensive, let's call it Bel Air. That's $1,000 a month. Middle of the room, let's call it Beverly Hills, $750 monthly rental. Next to the video library, Hollywood, let's call it $700. Near the water fountain, $675. Santa Monica. And then there, sa likod, $550 lang, pinakamura, Skid Row. What do you notice from the seat rental? The rental of the seat is higher than the salary. Real life. I mean, isn't that how life is? um, mahal ang bahay. I mean, don't expect to be able to buy a prime house in a prime subdivision with just your salary alone. It's not enough. You have to look for other sources of income. You have to look for other ways of earning, so that you can buy a house and be able to. Okay, so in the Philippines, if you want to put it in context, saan ka nakaupo ngayon? Dito ako sa Shangri-La. Diyan ang aking upuan. Ay, ako dito lang sa likod mo, sa Rustans. Ako diyan sa SM. Ito, ikaw diyan sa Metropolis. Ayun, sa pinakalikod, yung Liana Supermarket. Doon lang yung aking afford now. So, that's the Philippine setting of the seat rental. Okay, so, kulang ang salary. No problem. Here are ways that you can get extra income. Get perfect in the drills, in the spelling test, in the math drills, and the banker will credit your account with $50 bonus money. Get 90% on any other test, $50 additional income. But you get perfect in a test, on any other test, the banker will credit $200 to your account. So you have students working and working hard, not just to pass, but to get perfect, to get a perfect score, because that would mean additional $200 income. Completing a weekend video assignment, yung life-changing movies, $50 per video. Some of them will not just borrow one over the weekend. They will watch 3 life-changing, high-impact movies para pagbalik nila ng Monday, $150 credited to their account. Perfect attendance, kaya pala walang gustong mag-absent, $100. Coming to school early for math drills, $100 every time you come in the morning. Staying after school for Shakespeare, $100 for every time that you stay. Joining the school orchestra, $100. School chorus, $100. Playing the guitar with the teacher during recess and lunch. Rafe would make himself available to the students during recess or during lunch for those who want to learn how to play the guitar or the keyboard. That's why by the end of grade 5, lahat ng students niya know how to play the guitar or the keyboard or both. Life-changing talaga yung grade 5 sa kanila. And then the highest, again, bonus money is being complimented for good behavior by another teacher. So, if the student is able to pay the banker 3 times of the monthly rental of the chair, 3 times the monthly rental, if he pays the banker that amount, he owns the chair. He doesn't have to pay monthly anymore. He owns it. Young kids, and they learn on in grade 5, it's better to own than to rent. Some of them become so rich, they buy their chair. Some of them, because of all this bonus money, become so rich, they are able to buy the chair of their classmate. So that at the end of every month, okay, now pay your monthly rental. I own the chair. They learn about entrepreneurship. They learn about the real estate and owning properties. Now, I will have to emphasize all these things Rafe Esquith would do side by side with the sixth level of moral development. He would make his students level 6 thinkers. Kasi some schools try to adapt this all over the world. There are many schools that learn about this and they try to adapt it. But without the sixth level of moral development, this just breeds greed for money. I mean, it just makes the students crave for money. So it has to be done side by side with making the students reach level 6 thinking. Now, there are also fines. They can also be given deductions like this: tardiness, $50 fine; missing homework, $50 fine; rudeness, like you're not listening when another student is speaking, $50 fine; messy desk, because the police would organize raid, surprise raid every now and then, $100 if you have messy desk. But the biggest deduction or fine is for dishonesty, $500 fine. Okay, so that is RAFE strategy system. We're halfway, and I think we can do a little break now, because when we come back, I will tell you about my own strategies that I discovered along the way in this so many years that I've been doing this class advisory. Okay, well, I will finish off with the rest of the Rafe Esquith strategies. I mentioned already about the videos, weekend movies that they can borrow and watch over the weekend and get bonus money for it. On Tuesdays, the school tells them to dismiss the students early para they can have faculty meeting. But not Rafe. He would make them stay and watch one more of those life-changing movies. And then any videos he can incorporate into the subject, into the classes, into the curriculum, he would. Because videos are very powerful. I mean, the young people today are multimedia generation. Um, they learn more from watching a powerful, well done movie than reading 20 pages in a chapter, which many times for them now is kind of boring. Okay, so if he can incorporate those movies into the curriculum, he would. Here's another strategy of Rafe Esquith to help the students prepare for the test taking strategy. You know, in many of you, what you do when you want to review your students to prepare for an exam, let's say math, ang gagawin mo is call for volunteers to answer a question on the board, di ba? And then 3 or 4 students. And then you give the question, and then they answer it, and then you check with the class as a way of review. You will be able to point out mistakes in computation, mistakes in following the formula, like that. That's how many of us would do our review. Not Rafe. Rafe would do this because let's say he would prepare them for a math exam, and the exam is going to be multiple choice. Multiple choice, meaning only one is correct answer there, and then 3 or 4 are wrong answers. And this is how he would review them. He would write a problem on the board, and then he would ask the students, okay, class, Anyone can think of a possible wrong answer that will appear in the test? Mag-iisip sila. And then may magtataas, Sir, possible wrong answer is this. The student, because he is careless, will forget to do the carry one in the computation. Very good wrong answer. Anyone else? Possible wrong answers? Sir, instead of dividing, the student carelessly might multiply, and therefore another possible wrong answer is this. Very good wrong answer. Anyone else? In other words, he makes the students think like test makers, not test takers. That is how he would train them and make them develop analytical skills, evaluation, judgment. I mean, being able to detect possible mistakes that they can commit in doing math problems. That's why sabi niya, in his class, pagka nag-exam siya, he would hear the students sometimes giggling because they would see um, precisely wrong answers that are born out of carelessness or um, kulang sa attention, sa focus, sa concentration, and that's why they could detect those things. Make them think like test makers, not just test takers. Okay, let's skip this. We reached the last part. We're down to the last few minutes. And I would like to welcome you to my classroom. I'm going to share with you my own strategies that I developed throughout the years of my being advisory. I've been a teacher for 34 years, and I think easily maybe around 28 years of those were as class advisors. And so along the way, I got to pick up strategies here and there that I'd like to share now with you. Welcome to my classroom. I was handling grade 5B, grade 5 for many years. But on my last year in Southridge, nobody wanted to take grade 7D. So sabi ko, sige, akin na lang yan. Ako na lang ang advisor niyan. Anyway, I've been I handled many of them in grade 5 2 years ago. So here is my classroom. Here's what I'll do. 1 week bago magbukas ang school year, I would go to the registrar's office and I would ask the registrar, can I have the email addresses of the parents in my class advisory? I'll be handling grade 7D. Can I have the email addresses of the parents in 7D? And most likely the registrar would have it kasi we asked them to fill up forms in the enrollment and they usually would put their email address there because I want to email the parents 1 week before the opening of the school year. Okay, 3 paragraphs lang. First paragraph, I would let the parents know who I am. I'll tell them I finished AB Literature and Journalism. I have MA in Creative Writing. I have PhD in Literature. I have been teaching for this many years. I have attended some. I assure them that I know what I'm doing because we need that. I mean, when you go to the doctor's clinic, what do you see at the waiting area? You will see diplomas like assuring you, I know what I'm doing, I have a degree, welcome to my clinic. When you go to a dentist's office, what do you see at the waiting area? The same diplomas, certificates, recognitions, trophies, awards they receive. Their way of saying, trust me, I know what I'm doing. When you go to a lawyer's office, what do you see? Diploma, certificates of appreciation, and that they were speaker, that they were guests. And why is it that when you enter the classroom, you do not see the diploma of the teacher? Now, instead of displaying my diploma, I will let them know I have a degree. I am a graduate. I am an expert. Trust me. That's paragraph number 1. Paragraph number 2, I tell the parents how to be able to contact me. My number, landline, um, the best time to call up. I'm not afraid to even give them my cell number. Even the house number, it says here residence. Now, I'm not telling you to do this. I know some teachers are allergic to that idea. Ayaw nilang malaman ng parents ang kanilang cell phone number. No problem. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm simply telling you this is what I did, and it made life very easy for me because parents had an easy time communicating with me, connecting with me, as I also would have an easy time connecting with them. And then paragraph number 3, normally I would put here, please make sure your son brings with him his PE attire on day 1. And then I also mentioned there sometimes, by the way, the class will go to Enchanted Kingdom on the first Saturday after the opening of the school year. Should you allow your son to join, please return the reply slip below together with his payment. You know, some parents are so nice, so nice. They send payment not just for one, they send payment for two. They're volunteering to pay for my own ticket because they've never seen a teacher like this. Hindi pa nga nagbubukas ang school year, reaching out to them na, telling them, let's work together to make this a successful year for your son. And three or four or even five parents would do that, send payment for two. Uy, kumita pa ako. May pang ano na ako, pang lunch and snacks. I mean, parents are just too grateful to see a teacher reaching out to them. So, 1 week before the opening of the school year, I would make this email reach the parents so that they are at least at peace that they know their son is going to be handled by a professional, by a class advisor who knows what he's doing. Remember what I said this morning. We have to be what we call marketing mode, winning over the confidence of parents, assuring them that we are still the best school for your son. Don't give up on us. Let's work together. Online, mahirap, pero kakayanin namin. Let's do it. For the sake of our school, and in the end, for the sake of our own job security, because I know in Cebu, 36 private schools shut down, closed down because they couldn't survive this situation. They couldn't survive the exodus of students to public schools, for example, or to other schools. So we have to keep on. I mean, to hang on and to keep our students and make them safe and secure in our school for our own school survival, for our own job security, and then also because we now look at our students not as class numbers but as people entrusted to us by God to take care of. Okay, now day 1, my students, on the other hand, will fill up an information sheet because I want to know my students. For education to be effective, it must be personal. It cannot be personal if I don't even know ilan kayo sa pamilya. Bunso ka ba? Panganay? Ano ang mga hobbies mo? Anong interests mo? So, I want to know all those things. That's why even before the bell would ring, of course, day 1 students usually would arrive early, di ba? And by the time they enter the classroom, immediately they're given this sheet. Okay, find your seat and then please fill up this form because I want to know as many things about them, including their parents, hobbies, interests, awards received, their father's name, the birthday, the work, and if they remember the cell phone, the office address, email address. Same thing with their mother. And then I want to know, do you have brothers, sisters? How old are they? I get to know a lot of things, more things than other teachers know about their students. I know about my students a lot more because I get them to fill up this form. Okay, so this is my classroom. When you enter, you have photos there of the different activities. As we have activities, Enchanted Kingdom, overnight camp out, excursion, pilgrimage, we post photos of that. And this becomes like a memory wall. I mean, It's amazing. Every time I would enter the classroom, I would see students standing in front of those pictures with another classmate, reminiscing this activity, that activity, this time when they went to Enchanted, this time when um, that builds a class unity, class camaraderie, class friendship. I mean, that's what friendship is all about, building memories. Okay, now let me share with you a system that I found perfectly working in class advisory, which I don't remember learning it from somebody, from one expert or another. I think I just cooked it up and then I did it year after year after year, and it worked. It worked perfectly well. So there in front of the class, you will see hanging by the ceiling the name tags of the students. Each student has a name tag, meaning to say one side is their name, and then at the other side is just a blank hanging there, alphabetically arranged. And then here's what I announced to them on day one. Okay, class, every time you contribute to class unity, class prestige, class honor, I will give you one tag. A tag is just like a um, colored sticker. Yung, yeah, colored sticker na maliit lang, that is easy to post. Okay? So every time you contribute to class unity, class prestige, and class honor, I give a tag. I put a tag at the back of your name. For example, okay, class, I received the list of students who qualified for the varsity team, and we have some of them in our classroom. Let's give a round of applause to, as I read the names, I put a tag, a sticker at the back of their name. And sometimes it will take time, right? And the applause turns into cheering, and the cheering turns into a class celebration, sharing the joy of those students who contribute to class prestige by qualifying in the varsity team. The following qualified for the Glee Club. As I announce the names, I put a tag at the back of the names of those students. The following students joined us for Enchanted Kingdom, contributing to class unity. As I announce the name, and chances are it's all the names because everyone was there in Enchanted Kingdom, I would put a sticker. And the applause, the clapping turns into a loud applause, and the applause turns into cheering, and the class cheering turns into a class celebration. I love a class where students celebrate each other's success. No jealousy, no strong competition. It's class, culture, unity. Now, the biggest number of tags would have to be, of course, for what we expect them to do, to study. The following students are third honor. They will get 5 tags each. The following students are second honor, 7 tags each. And the following students are first honor, 10 tags each. Now, that takes time, putting 10 tags, and the clapping turns into applause, a boisterous, loud cheering, and the whole class is celebrating as I put tags after tags after tags. It works because at the end of every quarter, I would tell them at the end of every quarter, the top 5 students with the biggest number of tags will receive a certificate that says students of the quarter. And then by the end of the year, if I have budget, if I have resources, usually I would have a trophy for the student of the year, the one with the biggest number of tags throughout the school year. It works because then you stop I mean the students stop thinking only of themselves. They start thinking of class unity, class prestige, class honor. They contribute to giving the class a good name. Okay, that's the tags system. So when you enter my classroom, the name of the class was 5B Best Bets. And when we were, for the first time, 5B Best Bets, they broke so many records in honor students, achievements, the wings points system, that the following year, another grade 5B I handled said, "Sir, we want to retain the name 5B Best Bets." And another year, we want to retain the 5B Best Bets. So my class was 5B Best Bets for a number of years. When you enter the classroom, the motto they chose is "Be the Best." 5B Best Bets. Okay, but on my last year, as I said, nobody wanted to take grade 7. Sige, I'll take it because anyway, I handled many of them. Okay, I remember I mentioned already something about this the other day, but I'll repeat it. On day 1, as we are preparing for day 1, three things are on top of the mind of every student. Three things. Am I in the right classroom? Can I sit anywhere? Who are you as a teacher? What kind of teacher are you? Those are the three things, according to research, uh, the three things on top of the mind of every student. Am I in the right classroom? Can I sit anywhere? Who are you as a teacher? What kind of teacher are you? So, um, they haven't even entered the classroom. I already answer all the three questions. Am I in the right classroom? You should know, I emailed your parents last week telling them that I will be your class advisor. But let me see, because some parents didn't get to write their email address, so maybe they didn't read my email. But it's okay. The class list is here. Yes, your name is here. Welcome. Come in, come in. You are very fortunate to be in the best class there is in Southridge. Come in. Yan. That's question number 1. Question number 2, can I sit anywhere? No, I have a reserved seat for you. You see, it's here. Hindi pa nakakapasok, sagot ko na yung tanong mo. The, in fact, not only did I reserve a seat for you, I even gave you an assignment already. You see, you're in charge of the waste basket. Don't worry, next month, iba naman ang assignment mo. Your classmate will be in charge of the decors. Another one will be timekeeper. The other one will be in charge of collecting diaries. The other one is turning on and off the aircon, closing the windows, etc. Hindi pa nakakapasok ng classroom, malinaw na ang mensahe sa kanila. Here inside this classroom, everyone has a role to play. We have to work together as a team because everyone has a specific task assigned to him. We have a role to play. Let's work together. Question number 3. Who are you as a teacher? Are you going to be like those terrorizing teachers in the past who scared me, hurt me, even scarred me? Or are you going to be like those favorite of mine who cared for me? Who are you as a teacher? And I answer that because before the bell would ring, I would follow Harry Wong's system. I would stand by the door. No one can enter except through me. And I would have to welcome them inside my classroom with my biggest, widest, fakest smile. That's where it comes from. Some of them I would even recognize because I know they're brothers, and I would approach them, shake their hands, and say, "Thank you. I've been waiting for you. You are so lucky to be in this class. Come in, come in. This is your most successful year ever. You are going to have so much fun. Come in, come in. I've been waiting for you here all along." I tell them all those lies. But you see, they believe the lies. Okay, not that they believe it, they will make it happen. They will make this the best year. They will make this the most memorable year they've ever had. They will make it the most fruitful, successful, fun filled year they've ever had in school that they will remember for a long, long time. Okay, so that is 7D, Daring Darters, ang naging pangalan namin. And no more Be the Best. Naging driven to excel. Section D, 7D, driven to excel. Okay, now you are wondering why do I have those things of Enchanted Kingdom, fully booked, overnight camp out, outreach. I had a personal agenda during that time which I didn't tell others. As early as the 90s, kitang-kita ko how the minds, the concentration, the focus, the attention of young people is affected or are affected by computer games. So I would organize everything, all sorts of things, just to get them out of the computer games. Whether it is just spending an afternoon in fully booked, the bookstore, five-story bookstore in BGC. The owner is a very good friend, so he would give us 15% discount for our purchases. Or staying overnight in school, playing futsal, basketball, water bombs tournament, dodgeball until midnight. That's better than killing time in front of the computer with those senseless games of the more you kill, the more points you get. EK is a bit expensive, I would admit, but that's far better than a whole day of Saturday spent in front of the screen. And we had a lot of celebrations inside our classroom, birthday celebration. Most of the time, I just have to text three dads and tell them, Mr. So and so, the class will celebrate on Friday our winning the baseball championship. Can you help us in our celebration? And they are just so excited to help. They will text other parents and say, ako nang bahala sa pizza. Can you bring drinks? Ako nang bahala sa burgers. Can you take care of some cakes? I mean, I never had difficulty organizing celebrations. Not to mention, we had so many of them throughout the year that they are now looking forward to the next one and the next one, and then they want to win championships because they like our class parties, celebrating championships like that. So that is my class, memorable for the students but hard work for me, as you can imagine. And many of you are asking, grabe, sobrang, ano, pati Sabado, Sunday, ganon, merong, ano, outreach. Wala namang overtime pay yun eh. Hindi nga kami binabayaran na nag-check ako ng test papers hanggang 11 in the evening. Walang overtime work yan. So the question we ask, I'm sure, is it worth it? Does it work? Okay, to answer the question, I'm going to show you the class websites we've had as answer to the question of does it work and is it worthwhile. Here are some highlights of some of our websites through the years, especially the 5B best bets for a number of years. That was my class. Here, for example, PQF stands for Parents Quarterly Forum. We require our parents to come to school to attend parenting talks 4 times. You see, that's why you shouldn't be afraid to call them for orientation. Nowadays, ang hirap ipatawag ng parents, ano? Schools are dangling the report card. You better come or else you cannot get the report card. When this is supposed to be part of the mindset of the parents. I enrolled my son, my daughter in your school. I am expected to collaborate with the school. So they are supposed to make themselves available. Now, anywhere, in whatever school, many times schools have a hard time getting parents to come. Not my class, we would always get 100% attendance, especially in the first one. The second one, sabi dito sa announcement, 90%, not complete. Maybe two didn't get to come. But that's still far better than 40% of the other classes. It is still a historic high. Another year, you have this 100% PQF, 86% for the second, and then in 5B Best Bets, 86% of our students are in the honors list. Ibig sabihin, in a class of 25, tatlo lang ang hindi nakapasok ng first honor, second honor, and third honor. And it's not because we lowered the standards, it's because they were driven to excel. They were driven to do well in the academics. What else do we find here? 100% again, PQF attendance, another year, another batch, another class. Congratulations, we did it again. Of the 9 finalists in the book fair essay writing contest, 9 are from the 5B best bets. They're driven to compete, to excel, to win. So, the answer to the question, I think, is already very clear. Does it work? Is it worthwhile? It's worth it. I mean, if you're going to produce a class like this that is always given cleanest classroom recognition, that is highest pointer in the wings system, that is given recognition for outreach in Hospital ng Muntinlupa and the Enchanted Kingdom trip, and that's spectacular performance. Another year, another batch, 80% for second PQF. Okay. Yeah, the answer to the question is very clear. It works. Now, if you are from Southridge and you know the population there, the people, and then you see this list, congratulations to the honor students of 5B Best Bets in first quarter. If you know the students, you will be saying, uy, nag-second honor yan? Eh di ba muntik makick out last year yan for failure in subjects? And not in my class, they become far better than they were. Uy, naka-principal's list, eh di ba disciplinary problem yan last year, muntik pa nga makick out for suspension. Not in my class, they become behaved and they become the best students you can imagine them to be. So, it's transformative. That's why the title of the talk is The Power of Effective Class Advisory to Transform Your School. It works. Another year and another 86%, class of 25, tatlo lang ang hindi nakapasok ng honors list. Okay, so that answers the question. I've come to the end. I will now share with you my vision of the class advisory. Here it is. Let me share it with you. If you are an effective class advisor, this is what will happen. This is the vision. Students are very proud to be in your class. They're very happy to be in your class. In fact, they think the other classes are kawawa. And students from other classes envy your class. They want to be there. They say things like, sana doon na lang tayo sa class ni ano. And you have a bit of a problem because many parents at the start of every year usually go to the principal requesting, Ma'am, baka naman pwedeng malagay niyo yung anak ko sa class ni, sa advisory ni Mrs. So-and-so. Yun yung one of the problems you will encounter. Parents are so satisfied and confident with you because they know their class advisor genuinely cares for their children and they're just too eager to help you and support you. And parent satisfaction comes especially from the realization that you, the class advisor, are a role model for their child, virtuous, upright, moral, high impact teacher. Now, as I'm reading this vision, I know some of you are saying, ay, ganyan ang class ko, Mr. Rentoy. Ganyan, ganyan. I'm experiencing that because you've been effective class advisors, because you know what it means to be an effective class advisor who is not a minimalist, who doesn't complain about the slightest difficulty, who doesn't blame people for whatever problems. They are the leaders inside their classroom. They find solutions to all the difficulties that arise. They take care of the students entrusted to their care. Parents and students speak highly of your professionalism, your punctuality, your firmness but fairness, your kindness, your positive attitude, that they know that you bring out the best in the students. They may have complaints and issues. Who doesn't have? I mean, everyone has, including teachers. We too can have complaints. But our presence, our attitude, our support all make the problems look trivial and insignificant. Your students support you through and through. And the last thing they'd ever want is to upset you, to offend you, or be in disfavor with you. Students and parents may even lose trust in some teachers, in the system, or in the curriculum. But your being their child's class advisor makes up for whatever shortcomings there are. And they are still able to say, it's still worthwhile to be in this school. You are the spirit of the class, the soul of the team, the magic behind the great class that it is. And in the class, the team spirit is so strong. Failure of one student causes sadness for the whole class. And success of one student is a great joy for the whole class. You see, all this, the class advisor is capable of producing, creating, and constructing inside the classroom. There may be misunderstandings among the students every now and then, but they are ready to forgive for the sake of class unity. This is the vision. This is what our classes can become, regardless of however our classes may have been last year or in the previous years. Okay, that is an effective class advisor. And I'm going to first end the recording.